Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Leagues 4 advent calendar. That's what we're calling it. We're calling it an advent calendar. So each day leading up to the league now, we're going to get a teaser, relic, passive, something to do with the league. And we've already had a teaser of the new UI that you'll be able to use while you're doing other activity, but we'll get onto that in a minute. Today, let's talk about the new relic, the first confirmed Leagues 4 relic. Let's go through each part of the relic and then we'll discuss it. So the relic is called Trickster, and it's focused on enhancing thieving, agility, hunter, and firemaking. And it's got a cool little logo too, I rate that. You will automatically re-pickpocket your target. Loot from pickpocketing is doubled and noted. Coin pouch limit is multiplied by 3. You will be given the Sage's Greaves that will grant agility XP that scales with your agility level while running. Interesting. Okay. Box traps lure creatures faster. Loot from box traps is doubled. Impling jars cannot break. Nice. You can burn up to 9 logs simultaneously.
Huh?
And you cannot fail actions from thieving, agility, hunter, and firemaking. So there you go. It focuses on those 4 skills. That's what it does. Let's break it down into the categories now. And let's start with the thieving section. So it is a hefty relic, but the thieving elements are really interesting because you will automatically re-pickpocket your target. So you kind of get soft locked in, and I'm guessing you can just, click away when you want to stop. I guess you could call this the anti-carpal tunnel relic. That's what they should have called it. Definitely going to see some AFK use, especially when you look at that coin pouch limit being multiplied by 3. That's going to mean that you can essentially AFK for, I don't know, at least 5 minutes, right? And speaking of the doubling and noting of pickpocketed loot, and I think initially where I can see that coming in use, places like the ham hideout at the very beginning of the leagues. For anyone that's done that before, you know how quick your inventory gets filled up with just pure junk. You know that meme of that grandma that's like buried in like 10 tons of clothes?
Oh my gosh.
And she's just laughing in the corner. That is the ham hideout experience. But this is going to remove that. And then I think later in the game, elves initially, they drop things like jugs of wine, fire orbs, and gold ore. So yeah, those things are just going to be noted. And obviously you'll get double of the enhanced teleport seeds as well. So really good for saving you an annoying amount of CG if you do want the corrupted Bofa, especially if you're not planning on picking Asgarnia for the Rogue's Den, for the double loot that gives, which presumably stacks with this. So you could be getting quadruple pickpocketing loot if you pick Asgarnia and this relic. So that's definitely something to consider. But they're the only places that I can immediately think of where this noted loot is going to be useful. I'm sure there's probably a really obvious one that I'm not thinking of. So if you could think of any areas that this noted pickpocketing is going to be useful, drop it in the comments below. And let's move on to the agility section now. The Sage's Greaves, which grant passive agility XP that scales with your agility level while running. This is honestly just great because this was quite clearly designed and introduced for people who hate endless rooftop agility. And it even makes me think that they're probably going to cut down on the amount of tasks that are locked behind, hitting a certain threshold of agility laps. I'm imagining the XP isn't going to be groundbreaking. So it probably won't replace rooftops altogether if you do have an agility goal in mind. It is going to be great for when you're focusing on other tasks and you're getting your passive agility XP while you're doing that. That's amazing. I suppose the other element to this is the fact that you can't fail agility actions. So this is going to be great if you do need to do rooftops. That XP per hour is going to be even higher. 2 really great additions. I think that it's really smart to bunch these so far from what I can see, because they are those skills that you might class as secondary. Yeah, great that they bunched it together. I think this is really smart so far. The hunter side of this relic is also really good. Luring creatures faster with box traps is great. If you're not an avid chin catcher, then you're not going to bring a bow along to reset the chin spawns. You're not going to have optimal 3 ticking while setting your traps. This is also just great all round for speeding up how quickly you'll catch chins, especially considering that the loot from box traps is also double. This is one they've carried over from Deadman mode, which I personally absolutely love. This is going to be insane for range training. And obviously the Impling jar's not breaking is also a really nice touch. Puro given to us for free through Misthalin. One of the downsides that I always find that I hate in the main game is running to and from that stupid little in the middle to get a top up of Impling jars. You are probably going to see people camping those eclectic spawns a little bit more than usual, so it's probably going to make those a little bit more competitive. You know, I think it's a nice touch. And then lastly is the fire making element. I mean, this one's interesting. You can burn up to 9 logs simultaneously. Now, forgive me if I'm missing something here, but I don't really understand where this comes into use, other than right at the beginning of the game, trying to get, I don't know, the fire making requirement for a quest or for Wintertod. Fire making is already incredibly quick. Presumably, there will be a harvest type relic that lets you chop down logs quicker. So yes, burning through the logs in your inventory quicker is a great thing. And you know, I'm not snuffing, I'm not turning my nose up at it, but I'm just thinking like, really? It is going to make fire making incredibly quick, and I guess for those not picking Wintertod, it gives you a very quick fire making method to get to 99. And again, not failing the actions. I'm trying to think what fire making actions can be failed, other than actually lighting a log, because we know that that can sometimes take a little while to set up. But yeah, I'm drawing blanks on that one, so you guys let me know. Still, a really good relic. I can see this being really useful, and if I had to take a guess, probably something like a tier 2 relic. This looks suitable for a tier 2 relic. I might be totally wrong. It might be a tier 4. 2 or 4 is where I'm going to go. And I think what's really sneaky about this tease from Jagex is that they haven't told us what the passive effect is here. It clearly has one down there at the bottom. A teaser later down the line will probably tell us what the passive relic effects are. And I mentioned at the beginning of this video that we got a little teaser of the UI changes. So Mod Husky posted these to Twitter. It looks really good. A totally resizable UI by the looks of it. You can kind of drag and drop these corners and make it as big or as little as you want, and it doesn't interrupt your actions. That's the main thing that I think is great, because let's say we don't get a task list ahead of the league starting. You might want to set up doing a bit of an AFK skill while you look through the task menu. So now you can do that. You can go set up fishing your shrimp at the very beginning of the league, drag that task menu open as wide as you can, and start planning. Good first teaser. Can't wait to see more. And that's it for today, guys. Short and sweet, but I'll be covering this for the rest of the teasers if they're big ones. So with all that said, guys, I'll see you in the next one.